Donna. So what Donna did is, she's kind of looking at, how is it using, of course, techniques. And the basic kind of question that you're answering is just little variations on it, is basically how are some of these techniques used to create an effect or to say something. And so she's looking really at what does it say. And Donna her focus was healthcare, and she wanted to work with like hospice and things like that. So I mean, this is definitely kind of near and dear to her heart in terms of caring for people. So she says, let's see, who are you? That's what she calls it. Remember, we wouldn't call our essay, my name is Lisa. That name's already taken. That's the film's name. She's got to come up with something else. A middle-aged mother in American suburbia constantly makes lunch for her teenage daughter, but she cannot remember the word for lunch, and eventually cannot remember her daughter's name. This is a glimpse of the 2007 short film, My Name is Lisa, by director Ben Shelton, who illustrates the tragedy of Alzheimer's disease. Shelton repeatedly uses specific shot types and framing to convey the message that Alzheimer's can affect anyone, and that family members experience all stages of grief, from denial through acceptance as their loved one succumbs to the illness. So she gets us in there, right? What's happening? She gives us this, just kind of, here's a scene from it. And then she uses like I said, APA nor MLA do a really good job of saying, oh, if it's a short film, should you do short? They just kind of say film italics. So just, choose what you're going to go with. I suggest italics. It's kind of just easier to remember one thing for films. Short film, My Name is Lisa, and she gives the director's name. That's important, Ben Shelton. And remember, in APA, the first time we do give the whole name. And after that, only the last name. APA, what do we do? Last name, that's it, right? Unless we've got two works by authors with the same last name. But in MLA, first time the whole name, and then after that, only the last name. So she does that. She gets the title in there. What are we talking about? Who's responsible for it? So we've got the director's name. And then she at the end of this paragraph, she goes into her thesis. What is she going to show us? That he uses specific shot types and framing to convey the message that Alzheimer's can affect anyone, and that family members experience all stages of grief, from denial through acceptance. And so one of the things she was studying at the time was these stages of grief. And she said, man, when I watch this is what I see. Can I get that in there? And I'm like, well, yeah, if you can do it, you can do it. Okay. And so realize that, one, there are connections between your classes, even surprising ones when you don't think you'll find them. So she's got to start, though, and so she's got to, in her paper, make sure she addresses both of these. So she's got to show us, how does he use specific techniques? What does he use? We've always got to name them. And how does he do it to show us Alzheimer's can affect anyone? Medium close-ups, well, he actually says that shot types and framing. So medium close-ups are used to communicate the message that Alzheimer's can afflict anyone. Come on, what, did I turn it off? Anyone at any time. In the opening scene, Lisa is introduced with a medium close-up from her computer camera, which frames objects found in many homes: furniture, a staircase, pictures on the wall, and a backpack on the floor. Later, a wider medium close-up is used to frame Lisa's neighborhood, so the viewer sees things typically found in suburbia: lawns, houses, cars, and trees. The repeated use of the medium close-up and framing of familiar objects allows the viewer to easily identify with the story and realize this drama could someday be his or her own. So how do we associate with it? Through those basic things and giving us those views of that. Shot types are also used to show the tragedy of the mother's affliction. The first close-up in the film of the mom is in her car. This close-up alerts the viewer to pay attention to this person who previously seemed only a minor character in the film about a teenager's love of books. The viewer's attention stays with the mom even in subsequent scenes where her blurred image is shown in long shots, when she repeats a sentence verbatim about her favorite authors and later arrives downstairs in a daze dressed in a bathrobe. Thus, before the wrenching "My name is Lisa" scene, the progression of Alzheimer's disease is clear. And so here, she doesn't have like all of it capitalized because she's not talking about the name of the film. She's talking about that scene. Okay. As the mother's illness progresses, Lisa experiences the stages of grief, and this is made clear with frontality and shot types. And so this was where I was really worried for Donna. I was like, oh, well, can you do it? And she talked to me some. I'm like, well, it sounds like you can. How do we take these kind of ideas of these stages of grief and see them in there? And so she really looked at that kind of, these different shots that we get. The opening medium close-up of Lisa talking to the computer, but really to the audience, immediately allows the viewer to relate to and later empathize with her. This relationship, which is nurtured with repeated frontality and medium close-ups, makes it easier for the viewer to understand that some of Lisa's words in her video logs apply not to books, but to the depth of her emotion in handling her mom's decline. In the second scene of the film, Lisa says, "I demand an explanation for these shenanigans," when she is in the midst of confusion in the denial phase of her grief. In the third scene, Lisa expresses her feelings through the pain stage when she said life is not just a coloring book. It's an ugly, unpredictable, very difficult book. It's hard. In the sixth scene, the viewer watches a series of jump cuts of Lisa dressed in black as she sadly and thoughtfully experiences the depression and loneliness stage of her grief. Lisa's stages of grief are also evident through other types of medium close-ups. 3 scenes use medium close-ups and dolly shots of Lisa walking home, which then turn into panning shots that end by framing Lisa's view of her mom's car. These shots allow the viewer to continue to empathize with Lisa through the denial and pain stages, as her facial expression shows she wants to avoid the car and thus avoid what is happening to her mom. A medium close-up is again used when Lisa experiences the anger period of her grief, but this shot shows a lot of headroom before the camera slowly zooms into a close-up. The headroom allows Lisa's physical size to be seen, accentuating that she is a child who is understandably enraged, yet must now trade roles with her mother. After this transition, the viewer comes to terms with the new mother-daughter relationship in a couple of scenes that use medium 2 shots to frame Lisa and her mom. In the first of these, Lisa undergoes the reconstruction stage when she makes lunch for her mom and tries to establish rapport. In the last 2 shots, the viewer sees Lisa sharing her mom's old favorite pastime of reading and understands that Lisa has shifted to the final acceptance stage of grief. In one of the video logs, Lisa says, "The book is better than the movie. It's more imaginative. It gives you a chance to understand the whole story." However, the film My Name is Lisa may be better than a book. In a short period of time, Sheldon successfully communicates his message that anyone can be a tragic victim of Alzheimer's and that one's family members are forced to grieve, but can hopefully reach the ultimate acceptance stage before their loved ones are physically gone. So, over and over, she says, look, here's the way we see it here, and here's the connection to this other thing. Here's how we see it. Here's how it's done in the film, the technical aspect. Here's this connection. Does that make sense to you? Does it work for you? It's okay. You can say no. Donna won't mind. I won't mind. I think it's a really good, what I really like about this was it's really tight. She, kind of goes through it. It's very systematic. Academic thinking, academic writing is about being systematic and making sure you cross all those T's and dot all those I's. So she does it definitely in that way. And again, any big, huge words? Alzheimer's is big, but we got that one. Everything else, just plain straightforward. No, I, me, my, you, unless they're in quotes. That, in this scene where this happens, Shelton also does this. That's that academic voice. You do those 3 things, and it makes it sound smarter than you already are, and I already know you're smart, right? Yeah, the answer is yes to that one. You say, yes, I'm smart. Okay. And then, of course, she has her citation. Now here, What we're citing, and go to the table of contents here, and then we can just go down to MLA. So MLA, and we've got a web page or article from a website. So if we were citing my name is Lisa, we would have director. So we'd have Shelton, period, Ben. So notice with MLA, we've got whole name, whatever, if we had his middle initial, that. And then we're going to do, like I said, you can go either way, quotes or italics. When you're handwriting, you underline instead of italics. You can go either way, just be consistent. Don't put it in italics in one place and then quote marks in another, okay? But most of what you see here is going with italics. So we would have my name is Lisa. And then the next thing we would have is it goes two ways. One, do we have a date? Well, yeah, on a YouTube, we have the date for when this was uploaded. And that's what we would put there. So, oh, I wanted to go back to Donna's. It's right there. Okay, well, right there, Donna. Okay, so we would have the date. And then after that, we would have what it's on, duh. Technically, we'd have YouTube, and then the date, and then after that, we'd have the URL, okay? Now, you're